Hi everyone, it's Keith from Home Right. And as we've been expanding our garden, we've been trying to find ways to also increase our bee population. So last spring, we went out to a honeybee farm in hopes of trying to see about what is the process in having honeybees on our property. I quickly realized that I was not cut out for honeybee farming, but I did have the opportunity to speak with the owner, who was great and shared some fantastic information with me, suggesting that maybe I do bee houses instead. I had no idea at the time what bee houses were, and as well, he was also telling me about the variety of bees on the property. And something that surprised me was that these solitary bees, like mason bees, leafcutter bees, actually do a heck of a lot more pollinating than the honeybees do. Last spring, we built our first bee house in hopes of seeing how would this work out. We only built one bee house, but this spring we have noticed a tremendous difference and a huge increase in the population of these bees. So we went ahead this spring and built 5 more bee houses, and they are already quickly filling up. There are many different ways to build bee houses, but let me show you how we built ours and how we did them with a removable block system so that we can leave the outer shell on there all the time and we can just replace the blocks as we need them. My brother-in-law was kind enough to donate to me some of this old tobacco barn wood that he had, of which those pieces right there are true 6x10 dimensional. I'll cut those down to be the blocks that I drill the holes into for the bees. And I'll use these rough sawn pieces to make an exterior box for those blocks to fit into. First thing I did on a piece you're going to see in a minute is I marked it out at about 6.5 inches. Took my Sawzall, because that was the only way I was going to get through something of this thickness and size, and made these blocks out of them. So now what we're going to do is drill a bunch of holes, various locations here. You can drill a variety of size holes here. I'd say the max bit to use is probably 3/8 inch, which is what this is. But you can go down to 1/4 inch. They're all different, depending on the type of bee it is. They'll want a different size hole for them to get into. We just seem to have a lot of success with these 3/8, more so than any other size for the bees we seem to have in our area. So I'm going to probably, though, with a couple of these blocks, switch it up and just put in various size holes. Another thing is, on our bits, I'll take a piece of tape and mark it for the depth that I want this bit to go. So I've got this set at, for this 3/8 inch one, I've got it set at 5 inches deep. So we've drilled our holes, random sizes, 1/4 inch up to about 3/8 of an inch here. Now what I want to make sure I do, get all the sawdust out of them and then sand all the sharp edges, both on the sides and mainly just really around here in the holes. Make sure it's good and smooth. So we just built a basic box structure here that can house the blocks that we've got with the holes in them, and nothing really ornate, and I don't think there's any necessarily right or wrong when it comes to building this box. All I've been seeing online is you want to have them sheltered, so this block sits back about 1.5 inches all around the sides, and it's even just a little further here on the top. So now all I gotta do, slide that block in, and then the beauty about doing something like this is we can reuse these outer shells, and when it's time to just replace this, I'll just cut a new piece of wood here, drill new holes, and slide it in. So I am by no means an expert at all with this, but from what I've read and understand, these holes in here, there'll be multiple eggs that they will, oh, there goes one right there. The first set of eggs that will be in here will be female eggs. There'll be 1 or 2 of those, followed by all male eggs until it gets to the end, and at the end is when the bee will then seal it up, as you see here in some areas. So now the reason why this gap is up here is as the male bees come out, they will usually stay in this area until the female bee hatches. So this space up here is just a little protection area for them while they're waiting for the female egg.
Here you go, house number 1. There's house number 2. And house number 1 is actually filling up really fast. I don't know if you guys can see that in the shadow. So we suspect the reason why this house is filling up first is because it was closest to the house that we had last year that was on that post right there. But we've taken it down since last year. House number 2. There's house number 3. House number 4. So the last one is over here in the corner, up behind the raspberries. There is house number 5. One more thing, we did actually go ahead for each one of these bee houses, set them up so that they're all south facing.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you got any questions or suggestions, please put them down in the comments section below, and we'll see you on the next video.